Well, away they go. Really good start there from Ajayi in the green of Nigeria. And look at Lachlan Kennedy. Kennedy is matching him stride for stride here. Might even take this one. And he is going to take it, or does he now?
Emmanuel Eseme just beat a Commonwealth Games 100-meter record that stood for almost 30 years. He did it in the rain, on a soaked track, against one of the toughest fields in the world. And by the time he crossed the line, nobody could catch him. Here is exactly how it happened. Glasgow was cold and wet on race day. Rain kept falling on the track right before the men's 100-meter final. Most sprinters hate these conditions because wet tracks slow runners down and make footing risky. But that did not stop this from becoming one of the fastest finals in Commonwealth Games history. When the gun fired, Australia's Lachlan Kennedy and Nigeria's Kanyinsola Ajayi got out fast. They pulled ahead early, and for a moment it looked like Eseme might be chasing the whole race. But sprinting is not only about the start. It is about who can hold their speed the longest. As the runners hit the final 30 meters, Eseme began closing the gap. Step by step, he reeled in the leaders. Then, right at the line, he shot past them both. The clock stopped at 9.83 seconds. That number matters more than most fans realized in the moment. The old Commonwealth Games record was 9.88 seconds, set by legendary sprinter Ato Boldon all the way back in 1998. That record had survived every Commonwealth Games for 28 years. Sprinters came and went, but nobody could touch it. Eseme did not just beat it. He crushed it, in the rain, against a loaded field. His time also made him the third fastest sprinter in the world this entire season, and it moved him to third on the African all-time list. Africa has produced some of the greatest sprinters in history, and now Eseme sits near the very top of that list. Behind him, the race was just as wild. Kennedy crossed in 9.85 seconds, breaking Australia's national record, a mark that had stood for 23 years. Ajayi took bronze in 9.90 seconds, and South Africa's gift Lachlan finished just off the podium in 9.91. Four men broke 10 seconds in the pouring rain. That almost never happens. Rain usually kills fast times. This time, it did not matter at all. Kennedy's silver medal was its own kind of breakthrough. He was only 22 years old, and his 9.85 was a career-defining run for Australian sprinting. Ajayi was younger still at 21, and his bronze gave Nigeria its first Commonwealth Games medal in the men's 100 meters in 2 decades. This was not just Eseme's moment. It was a final pact with young sprinters announcing themselves on the biggest stage of their lives. And Eseme still found a way to beat every one of them. For Cameroon, this win meant even more than the record. It was the country's first ever Commonwealth Games medal in the men's 100 meters. 20 years had passed since Cameroon last won a Commonwealth Games track gold at all. Eseme ended that wait in one race. Now here is the part that makes this whole result even harder to believe. Most elite sprinters start training as kids. Some are on the track by age 10 or 12, building their technique for years before they ever reach a major stage. Eseme's path looked nothing like that. As a young man, he was not sprinting at all. He was playing football, standing between the posts as a goalkeeper. Track and field was not even part of his plan. He did not switch to sprinting until he was 24 years old. In track terms, that is incredibly late. Most sprinters already have national medals by that age. Eseme was just getting started. Coaches and experts would normally say a sprinter needs a decade of training to reach the very top. Eseme had far less time than that, and he still built himself into a Commonwealth champion. He became a 4-time national champion for Cameroon. He holds his country's records in the 60 meters, the 100 meters, and the 200 meters. He won gold at the African Games. He competed at multiple World Championships and multiple Olympic Games. Every year, he kept improving, kept climbing, kept closing the gap between himself and the world's best. No Cameroonian athlete had won a major global track title since Francois Mbongo Etone took Olympic triple jump gold back in the 2000s. Eseme has been chasing that kind of legacy for his own event. This season became his best yet. Before Glasgow, he had already run 3 separate sub-10-second races in the same season, the first time he had ever done that in his career. He was already trending upward before the Commonwealth Games even started. Glasgow was simply the moment everything came together at once. Eseme had also given a hint of what was coming. In his semifinal earlier that day, he ran 9.89 seconds, a new national record at the time. He later said that race felt calm, almost easy, like he had more speed still sitting in reserve. Kennedy answered right back, running a personal best of his own in that same round. Both men walked into the final, knowing the other was ready to fight for gold. Nobody expected either of them to run even faster just hours later. But that is exactly what happened. Wet tracks change everything for a sprinter. Every step becomes a small risk. Runners have to fight the urge to hold back, because one bad plant of the foot can end a race or even an entire season. Eseme was asked about the conditions afterward, and his answer was simple. He said everyone was running through the same rain, so complaining about it would not change anything. That mindset, staying calm while everything around him got harder, might be the real reason he found another gear when it mattered most. There is also a small detail fans have noticed about Eseme that makes him stand out even more. After his wins, he often does a celebration where he covers part of his face, something that looks similar to a pirate-style mask. He has explained that pirates change everything around them wherever they go, and that is exactly how he sees his own role in the sport. He is trying to change what people expect from Cameroonian sprinting one race at a time. Now, let's talk about where this leaves him on the global stage. Usain Bolt's world record of 9.58 seconds is still nearly a quarter of a second faster than what Eseme ran in Glasgow. In sprinting, a quarter of a second is a massive gap. So no, Eseme has not caught the fastest man to ever live. But that is not really the point. The point is that a man who did not even start sprinting until his mid-20s has broken into serious global conversation, sitting near the very top of African sprinting history and doing it while competing against some of the best young sprinters on the planet. What makes this story even bigger is the timing. Sprinters like Kennedy and Ajayi are still in their early 20s. They are going to keep getting faster. Eseme, at 32 years old, just ran the best race of his life against them and still won. He took up the sport at an age when most careers are already established, and he is now a Commonwealth champion with a national record in his back pocket. So, here is what we know for certain. Emmanuel Eseme ran 9.83 seconds in the rain. He beat a record that survived 28 years. He beat a stacked international field that included multiple sub-10-second sprinters. He gave Cameroon its first Commonwealth 100-meter medal in history, and he did all of it after starting his sprinting career later than almost anyone else at the top level of the sport. The question now is simple. Was Glasgow a peak moment? Or is this only the beginning of something much bigger? Drop your prediction in the comments. And if you want more real stories from the track, make sure you are subscribed for what comes next.